Hey folks, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce. I know I did a live broadcast earlier this evening actually, but I'm doing another one and I'm on my tablet, so I'm in the chat room. So if you are in the chat room, as soon as I share the show, come on by. Get in the chat room, tell me how I'm sounding, and because I'm trying this out on my tablet, so just to let you know what's going on. So anyway, I have had it. I am at the end of my rope. I am at my wit's end. I've had it. I know I've said it before, and all of that. Oh, by the way, just FYI, if I get cut off or I go silent for a little bit, let me know that too, because the connection sucks. I'm on Wi-Fi. So anyway, just to let you know, if I do go silent, that's the reason why. Okay? So, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I've had it. I am done with negation. I am done with people, I say, hey, look, that car's red. And someone says, no, it's cyan. It's maroon. It's, in other words, they contradict and negate everything I say. So I am done with people like that. I am completely done. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Real simple. I had to delete a post earlier, and it was a meme, and it was full of facts because I looked at everything in that meme about President Trump, and every single one of those were facts. All of that, decreasing unemployment, the whole nine yards. Someone said, well, it's a meme and it's on the internet, so it's got to be true. Well, we're not in prime time, so I can say this. That's bullshit. Okay? I am sick and tired of people talking to me in that manner. I am sick and tired of people telling me that everything that I'm saying, negating everything that I'm saying, claiming that everything I say is, it's on the internet, it's got to be true. You're a freaking insult to me. Okay? I just wanted to say that. You just insulted me for no reason whatsoever. I attempt to put the information out there, to give you exactly what's going on, to show you exactly what's out there. And what do? You shit on it. That's what you do. Okay? I'm being totally honest with people. I'm not going to hold back anymore. All right? People think that this whole, this whole idea that President Trump's full of crap and he's a fascist or he's a dictator or things like that. Let me just point something out to you. You're wrong. You always have been wrong. You always will be wrong. If you've heard my earlier podcast, I said that earlier. You're always going to be wrong. That's now, am I right all the time? No, I'm not. I may have overlooked a few things. You know what? That's okay by me. You know why? Because that means I get to go back and look at things up, maybe find something I missed. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means I've overlooked something. I missed something. So let's check it out. I don't have a problem with that. Other people will take that little thing that I just said, use it against me, and treat me like crap. And they will talk down to me as if I'm stupid. Okay? They will use my words against me, and they will continually do that just because they think that it's, they think it's something to do. Let's put it that way. So let me calm down for a minute here. I'm not going to take any breaks because I'm not going to be that long, probably a half hour. If I go over, I go over, but half hour at least. So stick around. Here's something else that I found out tonight. I put something up or someone else had put something up as well. And it was quite long and quite detailed and quite factual. And someone else, and I shared it. This is somebody else. I shared somebody else's post. And it was everything they said in that post was factual to the best of my ability to understand what they were saying, right? So everything was in there and everything was right on. It was brief, but it was long. And guess what? Somebody responded with, I didn't read the whole thing, but I know it's a bunch of crap or whatever the hell they said. I don't remember what they replied with. But I'm going to say this in general, okay? If you didn't read a whole article, or if you didn't read a whole post, and I post some very lengthy posts, how the hell are you supposed to know what I'm talking about? Let me say this right now. I'm going to be very upfront, very blunt. I associate with a lot of people around my area here where I live, and I appreciate each and every single one of them for what they can bring to a discussion. Okay? So hold on to that. But I'm not a fan of people who come to the discussion to A, use my words against me, B, treat me like crap, or C, talk down to me, or D, all of the above. I don't appreciate that. Now, am I bitter? Am I angry? Am I upset? No, not really. More frustrated than anything else, but I get over it. But it seems like, and this is just me, seems like more and more and more people will take what I say and claim it's crap. And I ask them why, and I ask them, show me why you think it's crap. Show me why you disagree with me. And they won't, because I can tell you right now, they don't want to. That's number one. Number two, they don't have all the information. That's number two. Number three, they don't have the balls or backbone to stand up to the truth, to the facts, and see it for what it is. Now, somebody may argue, and I get this, somebody may argue, well, that's how you see things. People see things differently. Can you not, accept the fact that somebody sees things differently? Of course I can. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If we're both looking at a can of Pepsi, and it says Pepsi Cola across the top, and it says made with real sugar, and I say that because I'm sitting here with a Pepsi next to me. If we're both looking at that can, why the hell are you looking at it from a totally different perspective and interpreting that thing differently when we're both looking at the same thing? Now I'm pissed. Why? It's real simple. Let me tell you why you see things differently. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you. You see things differently because it was the environment you grew up in. You see things differently because it was the governmental indoctrination institutes that you went to throughout your life. You see things differently because you don't like to see things for what they truly are. Factually, accurately, honestly, openly. You don't care. You don't care. Let me say that one more time. You don't care. Okay? I'm going to calm down now because I'll go off like Alex Jones and I'll yell and scream, but I don't want to do that. And I don't want to go as far as being so enlightening or entertaining as Glenn Beck, okay? I don't want to do that either. I like both those people. I don't always agree with everything they say, but I like them. So let me calm down. Let me go into just calm down here for a minute. And I'm going to say this. If there was anything in life that I have learned from my mother, from my grandmother, from various people in my life, it has been this. If you are going to talk about something, know what you're talking about. You see, when I was in school, I was in elementary school, I was in the third grade, and I was reading, some really heavy-duty books. And one of my teachers, and I remember this as it was like it was yesterday, one of my teachers said, "Oh, you're too young for that book," or something to that effect. I was in the third grade. I was 8 years old. And one of the things in my life at that time that I thought of was, what is this? That was one of the concepts I had. What is this? Everything I got my hands on, every book that my mother had on her shelf, almost every one of them, and almost anything that I could read in the school library or elsewhere, I would read. And by the time I was, and I did this from the age of about 6, by the time I was in the third grade, I was doing 5th or 6th grade material, okay? Any book that I would get my hands on, I would breeze through it with no problem. You know what I'm reading nowadays? Books about quantum physics. Books about societal unrests throughout history. I haven't picked up a book in quite a while. The last book I read, to be honest with you, was a book about quantum physics. And talk about an interesting read. I understood everything about it. Couldn't explain it to you to save my life, but I understood everything about it. Okay? Now let me say this in this regard. When I look at things, I have a keen eye for detail. And when I look at the very details of this political arena and see all the players involved, I know exactly what I need to do. One of the things I need to do is I need to listen. And I listen to everybody, from Trump to Sessions to McCain, from Pelosi, all of them. I listen to anybody that's in the news. I can tell who's lying. I can tell who's full of shit. I can tell who is trying to manipulate the situation for their benefit. Oh yeah, that's how much of a keen eye for detail I have. But also let me say this. I may have overlooked something. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means I've overlooked something. So at that point, I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself of something, and that is, everybody has a way of looking at something differently than I do. So why should, going back to the Pepsi can analogy, why should someone look at that Pepsi can and interpret it for anything other than what it truly is? Well, I already gave you the answer to that. That anything in math, or history, or English, or political, or philosophical, or whatever it may be, the reason why you see things differently is because of the environment you grew up in. Your mom, dad, grandma, aunt, uncle, cousins, teachers, co-workers, whatever. They told you how to think. They limited your thinking to what they wanted you to think. You see, at a very young age, I decided, in my own way, to tell people to piss off. I think for myself. I think beyond the limitations anyone else has and has put up in front of me. Because I'm not a carbon copy of anybody else. I am me. And if you like me, great, virtual high five, you're awesome. If you don't like what I say and want to try to, quote unquote, enlighten me, You're full of shit. It ain't going to happen. Okay? Not going to happen. And here's the good side of this. Let's flip this coin over. I've been doing radio online for, almost 10 years now. A friend of mine might know more than I would at this point, but it's been about 10 years almost. And I can tell, and I've been talking to people about this stuff 20 or 30 years before that. Okay? And trust me when I say this. I know what I'm talking about. Remember? Educated, keen eye for detail. Okay, equals pretty much I know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? So, people see things differently. That's fine. That's okay. I'm good with that. But don't claim you have the ultimate truth. And, oh my God, please don't insult my intelligence by negating everything I say. You can piss off for all I care if you intend to do that, okay? If you want to sit down and have a decent conversation and discussion about the issues, I'm all for that. I'll buy you coffee, okay? But, other than that, hey, have a nice day. There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. I'm just sick and tired of people with the negative attitude towards everything that I say. That is ultimately the point. I do not care about any negativity that is out there. I really, really don't. If you heard a ding, that was someone sending me a message. I don't get it. I don't get it. And why are you negative anyway? Why are you telling me, that I'm wrong when when you don't have any evidence to back up what you're saying? And it's laughable. Your arguments against what I'm saying are just completely laughable. And see, I'm laughing. I don't get it. So from now on, here's my solution, and I'll wrap this up in the next 13 minutes. Here's my solution. One, I'll hear what you have to say because, I'm that kind of guy. I want to listen and learn and try to understand where you're coming from. As a matter of fact, please refresh my memory because I already know where you're coming from. As a matter of fact, I already know pretty much with about a 85% accuracy what you're going to say in response to anything that I post on social media. So tell me something I don't know. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you disagree with me, tell me why. Oh, yeah. And don't insult my intelligence by saying, well, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Yeah, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. So either show me why you disagree or shut up. No, I'm being harsh and I pull no punches and I make no apologies for what I say. So that's number 2. Now, on the other side of that coin, let me tell you number 3. It's real simple. Oh, somebody just popped into the chat room. So, hello. So here's number 3. For those that just came to this show, you can always catch this in the archive. Please do. I'm a little frustrated. If you know me very well, you know that I get a little frustrated and yeah. I use gallows humor sometimes to deflect that frustration. So, there you go. The third thing on the other side of that coin is I understand a lot of things that I do not tell other people about. Why? What's the importance of it? That's A, what's the importance of it? And B, how would it benefit the conversation? So that's number 3. And lastly, number 4, I have dealt with so many people in my umpteen years of being on this planet, that I can literally listen to somebody say like 3 or 4 words in a sentence and know exactly where they're going to go with the conversation. Thank you, Mama, for helping me understand that. But, now again, let me reiterate 2 other points I made earlier, and that is, I may have overlooked something. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means I've overlooked something. Hey, I get to go back and check out what I missed. So I'm okay with that. Okay. The other thing is, I don't, let me say it this way. I don't like it when people negate the things I say. Now, go look that word up. I know it's a $3 college word, and most of you got a 12th grade education. Well, maybe not. Maybe you got like a 7th grade education. I don't know. I'm using gallows humor. I don't know. I'm just saying. Negate. Dictionary.com. Go look that word up. So, a lot of people negate or contradict things I say. They push away my concepts. They deal with certain things on their level. They misinterpret things I'm saying, or they say things that I'm not saying at all, which is kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave that to your imagination. But the fact of the matter is that I know what I'm talking about. And like I said, there are things that I don't talk, there are things that I know that I don't say anything about because what's it going to benefit? How is it going to further the conversation? How is it going to, add anything to the debate or the discussion? It won't. And like I said earlier, for those just joining the show, I read really deep books. When I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, I was reading books about Native American Indians. I was reading books about algebra. I was reading books about physics. At 12 years old, folks. At 12, okay? I'm not bragging at all. That's just a fact. The last book I literally sat down and read was a book about quantum physics. And like I said earlier, I understood a lot of it. Can I explain it to anybody? Oh, hell no. But I understood a great deal of the book. Now, how can I do that? Because that's how I grew up. It's like I was when I was 7 years old, or 6 years old, I remember sitting in front of the TV, watching TV, for those old enough to remember Vietnam. I sat in front of the TV watching Walter Cronkite on CBS News say that they're going to send another 10 to 20,000 more troops over to Vietnam. I turned around and looked at my mom and went, why? And she's like shrugging her shoulders and, 6 years old, folks. All right. I understood all of that. I didn't know why we were over there. I just knew that there was a problem, and I didn't know why we had to be the ones to go solve it. So anyway. Let me go in my Zen mode again. I may go into overdrive. I was only going to do a half hour, but that's okay. I don't have any documents in front of me. I don't have articles in front of me. I was going to read a few, but printer is out of ink, so I couldn't print those out. But anyway, let me go here. Let me just, nail these 2 points and get on with something else. President Trump went to the G7. He told them all that why are they having a discussion without Russia? I don't recall President Vladimir Putin responding to that at all. If he did, I haven't read it yet. But yes, Russia should be at the table. I totally agree with President Trump on that. Russia should be at the G7 table. Okay. But that's only a small portion of what happened this past weekend. This past weekend, over in Turin, Italy, this group of people, the Bilderberg group, met at their conference with 130 different leaders and other 130 different people from various organizations across the globe, across financing, marketing, commerce. I mean, you name it, they were there. Okay, including the Secretary of State of the Vatican. So the Pope was represented there. The Pope's a big globalist. Don't you don't believe me? Go check it out. He's a huge globalist. And he's saying that basically in his own way that God doesn't exist. Okay, that's what he's saying. And he's, the head of the Catholic Church. So I'm just saying. But you guys go check that out yourself. I don't believe me. You guys go check that out. So anyway, the G7 happened. President Trump was there. Bilderberg happened. There was a whole bunch of people there. Some of our people went there as well out of this government. So here are several groups, two of those I just mentioned, that literally want to control the whole world, which means they kind of do their confab, not kind of, but they do their confab where they do it. Bilderberg Group, Turin, Italy, this past weekend. And what they do is they divvy out, they delegate their plans throughout the world through the leaders. We've got places like Bohemian Grove in California, which pretty much is, it goes way back. Bohemian Grove. Go check that out as well. But we got a lot of other organizations out there, not so clandestine anymore, because the Bilderberg Group 10 years ago was only mentioned from the mainstream media as a conspiracy theorist would talk about the Bilderberg Group, which they think would run the world and all this. Well, now it's out in the mainstream news. The mainstream news is now talking about and having reporters go to these Bilderberg meetings every year. I think next year or the year after, it'll be back in the United States. So, so this stuff is out there, folks. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. As well as the Council on Foreign Relations, who literally lays out the plans and draws up the plans of what should happen from their point of view. And then you have the Trilateral Commission that literally sits down with a group of people and says, hey, here's how we're going to manage doing this. I mean, folks, the President of the United States does not run this country. Congress is the one that holds the purse and all the money. We're the ones that Congress has the ability to declare war on anyone in the world. Okay, has the green light gone on yet? As soon as I get some things upgraded in the studio and be able to take calls, I'm going to have someone on my show, on the American Liberty Radio show, Nick Tucker. Go check him out. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. Check him out. I have his past podcast on my network, so I'll start playing those once a week here. Come this week actually, and you'll hear him. I was on his show several times. He knows what's going on. If you want to hear about the Bilderberg Group, want to hear about Bohemian Grove, want to hear about Freemasons, want to hear about the Illuminati, you can listen to Nick Tucker, but also listen to Robert Bruce over at RegionXRadio.com. He talks a lot about that stuff as well. Folks, you are not in control of what you think you're in control of. You are being tracked with your cell phone. You are being listened to on your smart TVs, on your Alexa, on your Google Nests, Google Home, the iHome or whatever the hell it is for Apple. Folks, you're being inundated with all this information that is distracting you from the real issues. Okay? And I can almost, hear me out, I can almost guarantee that no matter where you go, someone knows where you're at. Someone knows where you are at. Oh, and by the way, let me tell you how they know. Folks, go to history.google.com if you're on an Android device. Go to history.google.com. Yeah, you want to know where you've been? They know it too. Oh, it's only private information that only you can see. No, folks. No. Let me go here for a minute, and then if I go too long, I'll just it's already past the half-hour mark. Well, let me say this, and then I'll wrap it up. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Well, hopefully you do, you do something to, you take a shower, go to the bathroom, do all that stuff, right? When you wake up. Then what do? Normally, you get a cup of coffee, you sit back, you read the paper, or you read what's on the, whatever's on the internet at the time. You probably go to Facebook, Twitter, probably go to RT or InfoWars or something and get the news, right? But what do you see? What do you see? Well, let me tell you what I see. From MSNBC, from NBC, CBS, ABC, from Fox, from CNN. Let me tell you what I see. I see fake news. Oh, God, you can't say that. Yeah, I can. Did you know that viewership of shows on CNN have dropped dramatically? MSNBC dropped dramatically. By the way, the morning, Morning Joe or something like that. Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, MSNBC, check it out. She's the daughter of the late Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was part of, I can't remember right offhand, okay? Zbigniew Brzezinski. Go look him up. Zbigniew Brzezinski. His daughter, Mika Brzezinski, is on the Morning Joe, along with her fiancé or husband or whatever, Joe Scarborough, who was once a congressman. And they're really, really tight with globalists. Okay? Now, when you look at the news and you look at that mainstream propaganda, what do you see? You see nothing but distractions. You see misinformation. And if you listen to various networks around the same time of day, you're going to hear the same thing. You're going to hear them read the same thing in the same way, in the same fashion. And guess why? Just take a wild guess as to why. Because it's a script, folks. It is on record that the military-industrial complex has created psychological operation operatives that have gone into the mainstream media and now tell them how they're going to do it, what words to use, how to speak, how to fluctuate your voice into this nice tone where people will just sit there and get lulled into the story. And oh yeah, I've studied that too back in the 80s. Psychological operations. It's been around for quite a long time, folks. Yeah, so you look at the news and what do you see? You see a bunch of distractions. It's all fake news. Even if you did your even if you looked up what they were saying, you can see it's a bunch of bullcrap. Okay? So I see, that's what I see. That's personally, that's what I see. But now, let me get back to the original subject matter, and that was the posts that I put on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever, Google Plus, whatever it is. And let me tell you exactly what has frustrated me to no end. And I'll give you an example again with the Pepsi can. Earlier I used the Pepsi can. I'll use it again. I'm sitting here. I got a Pepsi sitting next to me. It says Pepsi Cola made with real sugar. Okay, I'm looking at it. I know it's a Pepsi can. I know what's in it. I drink it. Okay, there you go. But then you may look at it and say, well, no, and you may give me all sorts of information about it. But and we both are seeing the same can. But you start giving me a little more information about what's in it, how it's made, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't take me 5 minutes to go look it up. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm trying to be calm here, folks. Everything I post, there's two people out there that have replied to my post. Two people. I'm not going to reveal them, who they are, at all. And there's been other people, responding to my post and other friends of mine and have responded to them and all this. So, it's a game of give and take. It really is. Okay? But literally, these two people negate everything I say. I would go as far as saying this. They ignore the facts and the truth. Now, I know somebody out there is going to say, well, if they see something different, how do you know it's not the truth that they're seeing? What if you're not seeing the truth? Folks, remember, I have a keen eye for detail and I'm very educated. So, that argument doesn't work with me, is what I'm saying. If we're both looking at the same thing, such as Donald Trump, such as President Trump at the G7, what he said, go look up what he said at the G7. He's not going to put up with anything anymore. He's not going to put up with these other countries thinking that we're the world's bank. No, he said that. Go look it up. If we're both looking at that, why the hell are you interpreting it for anything other than what he said? And why do you think he's a liar? Because some people have replied to some of my posts and said he's a liar. He's not a liar. Okay? I don't care what people say. Let me briefly here. He's a businessman. He's using the art of the deal to get things done. That's what he's doing. And like Ross Perot said in the 90s when he ran for president, the Texas billionaire, he said, the United States of America is a business that we have to run it like a business. You remember Ross Perot, right? So anyway, I covered a whole lot of stuff. So if you missed any of it, please go back in the archives and check it out. You can go to Spreaker.com/freelibertyradio. Check out the podcast if you want. But anyway, I don't know what else to talk about because I know for a fact that certain people are going to listen to this and literally tell me that I'm full of shit. That they disagree with me. Well, okay, if you disagree with me, put something on the table. Show me why you disagree. I know what their answer is going to be. One of two things. Well, I don't, that's one. The other one is, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. Well, hey, jackass, yes, you do. You got to prove it to yourself. I don't like being, treated as if I'm stupid. I don't like being talked down to. I don't like my words being used against me. And every single freaking time and I've seen this in some of my posts, some people will take quotes, will take certain sentences out of what I say and post them and said, you said this. Well, here's what this is. And they're full of crap because they're taking it out of context. They're not looking at the whole thing. They're just taking a piece of it out and going, well, you said this and you're wrong. Really? Have you read the whole context? No. It's like I was saying earlier. Somebody put up, I shared something that someone else posted, and they said it was, a bunch of crap and all this, and they even went as far as saying, well, I didn't read the whole thing. Well, how are you going to know what the guy talked about if you didn't read the whole thing? You shouldn't even be responding if you haven't read the whole thing. That's like people looking at me. Well, you're this and you're that. How do you know? How do you know? Well, I disagree with you. Well, show me why. I don't have to. I just know. I can just hear you. Really? So now you're the... I don't know. I don't know. I'm, like I said, folks, before, if I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know. And to those types of people that say stuff like that, I don't know how to respond. It's more like talk to the hand, because I'm not going to pay attention to you. It's just pointless. It's just absolutely pointless. Okay? So anyway, folks, I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, there's some things I want to save for tomorrow for the American Liberty Radio podcast. So please tune in for that one. It might be live or it might be recorded. Who knows? I don't know. So I won't know until tomorrow what I want to do. But it is the American Liberty Radio podcast. It's always up in the mornings. I try to get into the studio at 9 o'clock, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So, but anyway. Yeah, and check out the Wayne S. Pierce Show as well. It's a half-hour format show. It's over on audiomac.com as well as Spreaker.com on American Liberty Radio. So check that one out as well. Folks, you can check out the websites for both of those, and that is AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. That's one of them. And the other one is thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com. Go check those out as well. Looking for sponsors, looking for contributors. Hey, man, I got to upgrade the studio. I got to do some little remodel, kind of make the show a little bit better for you guys. So help out if you can. Drop a couple of bucks in a Patreon account and help me keep the lights on around the studio. Go to patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. And also, hopefully at some point this week, it might be Friday, not sure yet, cross my fingers. We'll see what happens the rest of the week. But Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. I know that's a long title. That's a mouthful. I know that. Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. We'll talk about everything under the sun. It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's like 2 minutes before we turn on the mics. It's pretty much, oh, now we know what we're going to talk about. So it's pretty much like that. That's Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. You can go to the website on that one as well at grabbagshow.weebly.com. Grabbagshow.weebly.com. And folks, if you want to contribute and help me, expand the network, please consider it. Okay, I'm not twisting your arm. I'm just saying, please consider it. Go to patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Also, if you want to advertise, if you go to the websites, if you advertise, I got some goodies I'm going to send you. So, I'll fill you in about that more later on during the week or maybe even tomorrow. So, there's not going to be any outro music. I'm sorry. This is on my tablet. So, how's the sound? How am I sounding? A couple other things related to this particular show. Go check out Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Go check him out. He's on Facebook. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. Tell him I sent you. Also, check out Mr. Michael Vera over at LateNightInTheMidlands.com. LateNightInTheMidlands.com. He covers everything. You think I cover everything? Holy crap! He covers everything. But go check it out. LateNightInTheMidlands.com. And tell Michael Vera I sent you on over there. And go check out another friend of mine, Mr. Brian Lang, over at LiveTruthRadio.com. LiveTruthRadio.com. He hosts that show on a daily basis. Check him out, Mr. Brian Lang, LiveTruthRadio.com. And check out a young man who is in college, and his name is John Christopher J-Man Collins. Check him out at thetruthwar.net. Thetruthwar.net. Check him out. A lot of good stuff over there as well. And of course, hey, there's always me. Check out the American Liberty Radio podcast every day right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Yeah, folks, I don't know what else to talk about. Hey, thanks for Diana coming into the chat room. So thank you very much. Definitely got to get the show going, got to get podcasts going, hey, anybody out there have any marketing tips? Because, I'm looking for tips, okay? Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. And, of course, ask me any questions you want. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's pretty much that simple, folks. So, it's not complicated at all. So, anyway. Hey, folks, no outro music, so I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So, I had intro music, but I don't have any outro music. So, anyhow. Folks, you can always check this out in the archives. Please do if you have missed anything. So, check it out. What else? What else can I talk about? I'm done. Come check out the American Liberty Radio podcast tomorrow, and I'll fill you in on what's going on tomorrow. All right? So, folks, you guys totally rock. Go to patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Drop a few bucks in there. Help me keep the lights on around the studio. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Bye-bye.